with the Access Arts Live organ live stream action roundup for the week of March 2nd to March 9th. And we have a great lineup for you. This week we have organ recitals from Tomsk to Toronto, from London to Paris. We have accomplished organists. We have up-and-coming young organists. We've got solo recitals. We've got duos with cello and organ, with flute and organ, and with organ and orchestra. So there's a lot of variety coming up this week. I'll be happy to get to it in a moment. Before I do so, let me remind you, if you like this kind of programming, do yourself a favor, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. In return, we promise we will get you more than 1,000 live links to high-quality live performances online every year. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and we intend to continue doing so. Having said that, let me then move on to the first of this week's, the first of this week's organ live streams has already happened. And if you were following Access Arts Live, then you might have tuned in earlier today when Dmitry Ushakov was playing a flute and organ concert together with the Russian flautist Evgeny Nekrasov. That was earlier this afternoon, European time, and in the early evening out in Siberia. Now that that has passed, let's move on to the next concert, which you can catch if you're starting to follow us now and keeping track. And here's the first one. Let me get my notes in order. No matter how much I prepare in advance, there are always things undone at the last minute. Tuesday, March 2nd, St. James Cathedral, Toronto, live streams the award-winning organist Manuel Piazza, assistant music director at St. Thomas Huron Street in Toronto. And no, that's not Tuesday, March 2nd. That's Tuesday, March 3rd. But there you go. Another mistake. I will probably make more. That's at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Toronto time, 10 o'clock in the morning out in Vancouver or Seattle or Los Angeles, and 7 o'clock in the evening here in Europe. Manuel Giovanni Piazza was appointed the assistant director of music at St. Thomas Huron Street just a couple of years ago, 2023. He got his bachelor's in organ performance at the University of Toronto some years before that. And while he was doing that, he was at the same time choir director and organist at Our Lady of Sorrows Roman Catholic Church in Toronto, and organ scholar at the Trinity College in the University of Toronto. And I think he was an organ scholar at St. James at the same time. This guy was a busy guy when he was an undergrad. And he was also one of 5 organists at the St. Michael's Cathedral Basilica. So then he goes on to Yale, gets his master's from Yale in 2022. And in between, he was an organ scholar at Truro Cathedral. They have a live stream coming up this month, which we'll tell you about up in Cornwall. And he's also won several prizes. First prize winner of the Royal Canadian College of Organists National Organ Playing Competition. And also got the RCCO gave him an Macmillan Memorial Foundation Prize. So he's an award-winning organist. We don't know what he's playing. They never tell us what they're playing at St. James Church. So we move on to Wednesday. And let me remember to change the photograph. That's the first thing that I start forgetting to do when I get all wrapped up in telling you all this stuff that I want to tell you about so you can enjoy it. Wednesday, March 4th, Queen's College Oxford's Organ Recital Series live streams their very own Arthur Barton, the junior organ scholar at that college. He's in his first year studying music at the college. Before that, he was an organ scholar at the Sherborne Abbey. It's a Frobenius organ, which the college is very proud of, and I think in the links that we give you for the concert, we also give you the link to the page on what a great organ their Frobenius organ is. And so I commend that to you. Now that's at 2:10 in the afternoon, European time, 8:10 in the morning on the East Coast, a little after midnight down under in Australia. 5 minutes later, there's another concert going on, which is very interesting and which we do have the program for. Wednesday, March 4th, Temple Church London's weekly organ recital live streams the Svyati duo of organist Julian Collings and cellist Rebecca Heppelwhite, playing music by Peteris Vasks, Bach, Joseph Jongen, and Max Bruch. That'll be at 2:15 in the afternoon European time, 8:15 in the morning on the East Coast, and a quarter past midnight down under in Australia. The pieces are Peteris Vasks' Musique du Soir, music of the evening, Bach's Ich rufe zur dir, Herr Jesu Christ. We heard that played last week. I don't remember which recital it was in. Joseph Jongen's piece is Humoreske, the humoresque, and then Max Bruch's Kol Nidrai. This couple met 12 years ago when Collings was conducting a piece for cello that was being played, and the cellist was Rebecca Heppelwhite, and it was a piece for cello and choir, and Collings was conducting it. They met and then formed this duo, and the piece was called Svyati by Taverner, who later became sort of a patron of them as a duo, performing arts duo. Anyway, they performed in places like the Hong Kong Cultural Center, where they had 1,600 people there, the Tokyo University Concert Hall, Worcester Cathedral, where they performed their own transcription of Elgar's cello concerto, and St. Paul's Cathedral in London, where the presenter said this: the Svyati duo played a thrilling program of music in recital at St. Paul's Cathedral, London, Kol Nidrai by Max Bruch and Sofia Gubaidulina's In Croce. The In Croce was played fearlessly and with great intensity and passion, and the audience loved the recital. Voila, that's what you're gonna hear. They commissioned works by David Bednall, Colin Riley, Ian Farrington, Timothy Salter, Christopher Smits, and they work with a Dutch composer and organist, Albert van der Heuven, on new transcriptions of other works. They've got 3 CDs out on the Region Records label, which have been well received by the critics. They've played on BBC Radio 2 and 3, Lyric, RTE, and American Public Media. It's a Harrison & Harrison limited organ that they get to play with. 4 manuals, 3 32-foot stops. This is the one that was built for a ballroom up in Scotland back in the 1920s, and Marcel Dupré came up from Paris to inaugurate it. And then in the 1950s, it got shipped down to London. Sounds like a highly interesting concert by a delightful duo. Okay, then we move on to, what is it? This is also a little later in the day on Wednesday, so you have 3 live streams to choose from or to enjoy, but I think you can only reasonably really enjoy. There are 3, and I think you can reasonably enjoy 2 of them. And here's the next one. Wednesday, March 4th, Artbene live streams Russia's former Organist of the Year, Elena Privalova, playing an evening by candlelight. Works of Bach, Franck, and Reinberger on the Kuhn organ at the Roman Catholic Cathedral in Moscow. That'll be later in the day on Wednesday, 6 in the evening European time, noon on the East Coast, 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. It's 8 o'clock at night in Moscow. It's a 90-minute concert, so it'll be a full performance. She starts out, she'll be playing Bach's Prelude and Fugue in B minor, BWV 544. The choral prelude, O Mensch, bewein dein Sünde groß, BWV 622. I think that means, O man, confess your great sins. and then the Prelude and Fugue in E minor, BWV 548. Then there's for the Baroque. Then she'll play Franck's Prelude, Fugue, and Variation in B minor. So it's Baroque and Romantic, which is a pairing that a lot of people seem to make. And then they play Reinberger's Organ Sonata, Opus number 132 in E minor. And they see Reinberger, who studied with Bach enthusiasts or followers of Bach's, but was composing in the same era as César Franck, as sort of a link between those two eras. As for Privalova, she graduated from the Moscow Conservatory 25 years ago, 2001. And then 10 years later, she went back to study at the Faculty of Historic and Contemporary Instruments. Took master classes across Europe. Many people don't seem to get how much Russians like to view themselves as being European, especially those in the arts. And she is the founder and artistic director of an annual summer concert series called Organ Evenings in Kuskovo, which is near Moscow. She's been doing that for over a decade. So that looks like an interesting concert too on Wednesday, March 4th. We then move on. I'm very happy to have found a new live streaming outfit. At least for a couple of weeks, we'll be able to keep track of them while this particular term is ongoing. It's the new college at Oxford. They also, along with the Queen's College at Oxford, are doing live stream. We didn't know. And Magdalen College at Oxford does it, but they never tell you. I cannot figure out who's playing there when, or we would tell you about it. I always find out about it like 2 days later. I'm going through things online looking for things, and then, oh yeah, Magdalen did another live stream, and there was no way we could have known. Okay, Thursday, March 5th, New College, Oxford, live stream Shanna Hart, organist, pianist, flautist, and director of music at St. Botolph without Aldgate, London, as well as a counterpart and fugue specialist at Cambridge University. Wow, talk about wearing many hats. This is at 2:10 in the afternoon, European time, a very standard time for these British concerts. 8:10 in the morning on the East Coast, and a little past midnight down under in Australia. She did a live stream at Ely Cathedral last August, which we told you about. I mean, if you follow Access Arts Live, you see these people who are out there active, and you get to know them more than just seeing them. If you're waiting for all this to come to town, it's not all coming to town, folks. Okay. So, and at that recital, she played Bach, Vierne, Rubke, Ad Wamis, a contemporary composer, and several pieces by Rachel Lorin, the American composer who just passed away not long ago. So she plays a lot of variety. I think you can expect that. We don't have the program of what she's going to be playing. She is, she studied at Selwyn College, where she was an assistant organist for a while. She was also organ scholar. She played for Robinson College, Cambridge, and St. John's Voices. She's on the committee for the Society of Women Organists, and she also works full-time at the Royal Society of Chemistry. This is an artist who's doing everything plus the science. Enjoy whatever it is she's playing. And then we are on to a Saturday concert. With Marina Omelchenko and an orchestra, the Russian Regional Orchestra. Let me put both those pictures up for you. Although I want hers to be primary, I don't know. Well, because this is the organist thing. Okay, Saturday, March 8th, Artbene live streams Marina Omelchenko and the Moscow Regional Orchestra, conducted by Viktor Lutsenko, in a program of Vivaldi's Four Seasons and Mozart's Symphony No. 40. They'll also be joined by William Hilo on the violin. So it's the four seasons, which are four concertos for violin, strings, and bass continuo, opus 8. It's number 1 in E major, spring, number 2 in G minor, summer, number 3 in F major, autumn, and number 4 in F minor, winter. And then they'll take on Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart Symphony number 40. A lovely concert on a Saturday evening in Europe, 6 o'clock in the evening in Europe, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast. And we have one more live stream to tell you about this week, and then we are done. We have 7 live streams to tell you about this week. And the last one is an old favorite of mine whom I have met in person, and he's a terrific organist. Sunday, March 8th, St. Eustache Church in the heart of Paris, live streams resident organist Baptiste Florian Mal playing Bach, Mozart, Schubert, and Mendelssohn on the magnificent 7,952 pipe Van den Heuvel organ there. That's at their usual time of 5 o'clock in the afternoon, European time, Paris time, 11 in the morning on the East Coast, and 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. I love Baptiste Florian Marlouvard. He's a real showman. He always wears red socks when he's playing because he knows the camera's going to be on his feet too. There's something I noted in his biography today that I hadn't seen before. He's also an airline pilot, like that conductor, Daniel Harding. There's something maybe about music and flying through the air that goes together. And he works with the Paris Cinematheque also on providing accompaniments to silent films, and does teaching and things, and has done some very interesting collaborations with other instruments and even with dance in the past. He'll be playing Bach Sonata number 4 in Do, Re, Mi, E minor. I've got this in French. Then a Mozart Fantasy in F minor. And then Schubert's Impromptu number 3 in G flat major, opus 90, and then Mendelssohn's Prelude et Fugue en Ré mineur. This is the way I have the stuff in my notes. Prelude and Fugue in D minor, number 3. So that's what we have for you this week, folks, in terms of organ live stream action. I hope that any of these live streams uplifts you, inspires you, or just shows you a heck of a good time. For me, that concert with that cello duo on Wednesday strikes me. I just think that will be really great. That the Svyati duo of Julian Collins and Rebecca Hepplewhite playing Vasks, Bach, Joseph Jungen, and Max Bruch. That sounds like a good time. So before I go, let me remind you, if you like this kind of programming, do yourself a favor, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. We want to be wherever you are. So wherever you just hang out, on occasion, all you have to do is wander over to our page on that channel and find out what's live streaming that week or day. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 or 7 in the evening with the Chamber Music Roundup, and on Wednesday at 6 or 7 in the evening, European time again, with the orchestral and operatic live stream. So with that, I'll say ciao for now and have a good evening.